Okay, so I think you've probably worked out what's going on here. This is a version of tug of war for the microbit. So the aim of the game is to try and get the light to your side of the microbit. There would be one player on A and one player on B. And whoever reaches their side first wins. Now, this is the two-player game. There is also a one-player game, and I'll just show you this now. So in the one-player game, the computer is on B, and it will slowly move it to the right because it's picking a random number to generate how quickly it's pressing that button. But then if you're doing it quick enough, you can win over the computer. And you can adjust how good the computer is within MakeCode. But let's get coding. So to create our microbit tug of war, we'll first do the two-player version, and then it's just a quick change for the single-player version. We will need on start and forever. We will also need our on button A, and I'll duplicate it because we'll need on button B. So on start, we're going to have our variable, and we're going to make a variable. Let's call it the rope because that's really what's moving across the screen. Or it's really the ribbon in the middle if you've ever played Tug of War. So rope, we're going to set rope to begin with to 2. And that just means it's going to be in the middle when we plot it later on in our coding. So we want the rope to start in the middle. And then on button A, we're going to change the rope. And we're going to change the rope by minus 0.1. So it's going negative that way, but it's not going one full dot each time. We'll let you go essentially press the button about 10 times before it moves 1. So then we're going to duplicate that and we're going to change it by positive 1 on B. So it goes positive direction because we're going 0 to 4 across the top. Then we need in our forever, I'm going to start with a clear screen. It's always good to start with a clear screen. Then we're going to plot. So plot is found in LED. And we're going to plot an X and Y. And we are going to go into math. And we're going to get a round number because we're going to get a round number of this variable rope. So I'm going to go into variables and I'm going to choose rope. And then the other side, it's going to be 2 because it's always going to be, 1, 2, because it's always going to be in the middle. So it's always going to be on this line, which is 0, 1, 2. So it's going to be somewhere on there, depending on what we do. Then in logic, we want an if true, then else, and we want to expand it and then take away the last one, so we've got the else if statement that we can fill in. We then need to put in a couple of logic statements. They're going to be the less than. So we need to put one of those in there. And then we're going to put one of those in here. And we need to put the variable rope in the front half of each of these. And the first one is going to be less than 0. Greater than 0. Rope is greater than 0. But the other one is going to be when rope is less than 4. So the last thing we're going to do is these are going to be the winnings. I should have said that the if else is how we win. So I'm going to show a string first of all. So basic show string, and this is going to be the A wins. And duplicate it again. I'm just going to change it to say B wins. So A wins, B wins. I'm going to put in a couple of clear screens just to make sure that there's a gap between the S and showing the dot again. Then we need to reset this each time. So if A wins or B wins, we need to reset. So that's just what's happening in the on start. So I'm going to duplicate that and put it in. So duplicate and put it in. So that is our full code for the game. So if I press A, keep pressing A, it's moving that side. Keep pressing it until it wins, and B would work the same. Now, the only change, you can download this onto your microbit, see if it works if you're just doing the 2-player game. The only change for the 1-player game is instead of on button B, we're going to take this out and we're going to find a loop and we're going to have every 500. Now, I have found that you could have it as every 500 milliseconds, but it's maybe better so it's a little bit more random. We go into maths and we find in maths, if you scroll down, there's pick a random number between. So let's go for, this is where you can experiment slightly. I have gone for pick a random number between 500 and 600. So that means it's slow enough that you can catch up, you can win. It's not impossible to win, but you might want to change that depending on how you get on. So that's the 2 versions of the Tug of War. Download it onto Microbit, see if it works, and I hope to see you in another video very soon.